returning to the strap, the first thing to do is have a really good look at it and make sure you understand how it works. So looking at this one here, you can see that it drops underneath the bottom of the hat here, so that it's actually coming right down to the bottom. So the distance between our top edge here and the base, whatever this is sitting on, is going to be quite considerable. So we've got quite a lot of room there. So the other thing here is this strap, for example, is really just doing this. So it's like a piece of material or paper like this that is just turning round like this. So this is effectively what we're doing. So we have to create this rounded shape that curves underneath here and not really worry about this hole at the moment. So if I just plug that hole there, the shape we're going to create first of all is this overall shape, remembering that little bit sticking out here. And then when we've got that shape, then we can think about hollowing it. Okay, so the first thing I've done here is I've made sure I've got the right width of this strap sticking out. So I've come along here like this. So this is the maximum thickness. The other thing that I need to be clear about is this line here. This in a way across here, we can show this. This is a high spot and it's dropping down and it's dropping down around here. So I can start with my high spot and it looks quite an angle here and it's going to be sort of on that plane there. So it's going to curve round and underneath there and round and underneath there. With this, remember this little bit sticking out, mustn't forget that bit. Okay, so keeping an eye on my hat, I'm going to start removing wood from down here. So this is going to be, in a way, the start of the strap coming along there like that. This is the top sort of edge. And it's going to run down and underneath here. So the top edge is somewhere here, coming round there, and my next job is to cut across here like this, ignoring the hole and going from this edge here to this little bit that's sticking out, all that edge across there. And you've got to note that this is lying pretty much here on the surface of the wood, of the table or whatever this is sitting on. So this is coming right round and flat, so I can come right over to the edge over there. So let's just take this off, heading downhill here. So there's the plane here, and it's the plane along the edge of the strap. So this edge here, so there's the strap. Let me just get that off there. Of course, everything going underneath. So the strap is coming around here, and then this top edge, which is this edge here, is coming round and heads underneath back here. This back edge here is actually tilted in this way, so it's not square on, it's tilted back, and this, as I said, this bit is almost flat. So we have to take from this high spot which we had along here, we've got to come back at this angle. So everything's got to be cut back now. And this little strap at the edge here is square and straight, but it's still, so this is a big undercut here. This part of the carving is probably the most difficult part in terms of wrapping your head around what's going on. It's important to think in terms of the main planes. So thinking again of this strap, that it's just a piece of fabric, thick piece of fabric like this, that is doing that. At the same time, there's a little bit of an edge here where the two bits of strap are Velcro together. So what we need to think about before we cut this hole is this line here, which is this edge. So the top edge, which goes underneath the wood here, comes around and goes under there. It's also much straighter in the hat than I've got it, so I'm going to have to straighten this up and straighten this edge up here. That's the difference between this part of the carving and the other part. This is the dynamic part where the strap is ending. So once I've got that edge right, where I think it's going, and I check this plane here and my high spot down here tilting underneath, I can actually use a piece of paper that's actually the same width as the strap itself to work out exactly where this bottom edge is going. There is a lot of this strap underneath here, and I can have a look, but I'm not going to because it's not important. We're not going to do the bits underneath. This is effectively now a bit of an illusion. We want to get the sense of the strap going underneath. We're not actually going to cut very far into it, just enough so that we can get that sense. So when I've got that right, only then will I start removing wood from this part here. And in fact, we will have to go through to the other side. But we get all this right because this is going to be quite thin when we finish, so we're not going to be able to adjust the outside once we've started cutting this hole. I'm pretty happy with how I've got it so far. I've split this bit of the strap here. I've made a little bit more of that. Importantly, this strap here is flat. You must remember that's flat here. It's not curved like the hat. It's quite a stiff bit of fabric. And this strap will have an edge. So I've actually created along here a chamfer that creates the edge of the material, and it will come around here, and we must allow for that as we start to undercut, cut into here. So there's an edge here that you will see that will reflect a bit of light. So once we've got all this into position with it coming underneath, we can start cutting into here.